Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, End-to-End Customer Segmentation Solution Accelerator on Databricks. My name is Maria Alvarez. I am the Vice President of Sales at Focal CXM. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that we will have time at the end for questions or comments. So please post your questions in the Q&A link, and we will address them at the end of this presentation. Today, we will explore a customer segmentation use case on Databricks, showcasing data ingestion, insights generation, and scalable pipeline creation using CRM data and advanced segmentation techniques to enhance personalized customer experiences. We are happy to have Venkata Jyothi Kotra and Karthik Chimalakonda with us today. Karthik Chimalakonda is a data science engineer at Focal CXM with expertise in AI, machine learning, generative AI, leveraging advanced technologies to solve complex business challenges and deliver impactful solutions. Jyothi is the Director of Data and AI at Focal CXM and oversees all data and AI solutions in both the commercial and the public sector. Additionally, she serves as an adjunct faculty member for the data analytics at South New Hampshire University. Specializing in data modernization, governance, and enterprise modeling, she integrates data, analytics, and machine learning for sales, marketing, finance, and operations. Her expertise spans big data, cloud computing, distributed processing, system upgrades, and business process transformation. Thank you for being with us today, Jyothi. I will pass this along to you now.
Thanks, Maria, for the introduction. I'm Venkata Jyothi Kotra. Thank you all for joining today's webinar on end-to-end customer segmentation solution accelerator on Databricks. Today, we would dwell deep to learn how segmentation works, specifically diving through a use case on healthcare provider segmentation, data preparation, and segmentation with clustering models and targeting marketing strategies. So here is a quick peek at the agenda and the topics to be discussed in webinar today. First, we'll introduce Focal CXM and discuss about the Salesforce and Viva Vault as data sources for the solution accelerator. And we're going to discuss deep on how Databricks serves for building solutions on healthcare provider segmentation, followed by a detailed demo on clustering models, followed by a Q&A session. Focal CXM is dedicated for enhancing employee and customer experiences through utilization of data, artificial intelligence, and Salesforce. Focal CXM has achieved success in delivering diverse data and AI services for esteemed clients and stakeholders. In addition to that, Focal CXM and Databricks are trusted partners and play a crucial role in advancing lakehouse architectures, enabling organizations to harness data effectively while maintaining trust and compliance. So going on to the topic for today is customer segmentation. It is one of the popular machine learning model or machine learning use case which serves the advertising and marketing for any organization or business. Customer segmentation is division of organization customer base into distinct groups based on their characteristics such as demographics or geographical data or psychographics or behavioral characteristics, enabling better understanding on personalized marketing strategies. So every group would have different needs, would have different characteristics or behavior, and they might require different products altogether or different marketing campaign programs. So trying to segregate and segment the whole customer base into different clusters or segments would help to provide tailored marketing strategies to get better return on investment and better profitability. So today we are going to concentrate on life sciences industry sector, and the use case which we are going to discuss is on healthcare provider as a customer, how to target healthcare provider personas. So segmentation in life sciences is very crucial. There are different use cases for that matter, like targeted patient engagement, efficient resource allocation, or provider relationships, optimized clinical trials, or market expansion around the healthcare providers itself. It aids in personalized medicine, market access strategies, digital health initiatives, and also the training and continuation education provided for the healthcare providers. So examples include many use cases for that matter, but some of them are tiered pricing models or digital health initiatives or continuing education for the healthcare specialists. So here, for having HCP segmentation here, the life sciences and biopharmaceutical industry is very competitive world, and commercial team face very stiff competition for the customers' time and attention. And then it is very important to adopt a powerful segmentation and targeting strategies so that that can help segment and target the healthcare providers. So they can, the teams, the marketing teams can better understand how to target the audience and get the right product to the right audience and transform the way the healthcare providers engage with the pharmaceutical products. So here, the data is ingested from systems like Vault CRM and Salesforce CRM, and these datasets would further be refined and joined with other third-party datasets, and then be processed into the segmentation solution accelerator. So before moving on to discussing about the solution itself, first we will try to understand how this psychographic segmentation actually work. So here I'm trying to talk about McKinsey's healthcare provider archetypes. It's one of the popular model on understanding the behavioral characteristics and attitudes of the healthcare providers. So the main summary of the model or the method it is trying to categorize the healthcare providers is based on their values, attitudes, motivation, and behaviors. Is this really necessary to understand to segment the customer base? Definitely, I would say it's very, very important to research and study the customers' behaviors, their needs, and their characteristics so that we can tailor the right product for the right customer. So here, there's different categories which we can categorize the healthcare providers into, but the four main categories which I would like to talk about is independent nature. So here, the HCPs value their autonomy and they have minimal interaction with the farmer representatives. So knowing this category and trying to target and segment the customers in this particular category, we need the marketing team needs to understand how to target this group of independent HCPs. And transactional is this segment is focused on efficiency, and transactional they seek straightforward and pragmatic interactions with the products. So it's very, very important because it is focused on efficiency. They might need the high quality product or high scientific research is the right product which needs to be targeted to these customers. And the next category is knowledge seekers. They continuously want to expand their knowledge base and highly engaged with the research and educational opportunities. Maybe they are very innovative in the way they prescribe the solutions. So they are open for any experimental products. So that way, like any new clinical trials or new products happening, this is the category which needs to target. Those are the HCPs who might accept any new products so that they can prescribe it. And then the last one is relationship seekers. So here, this category, they want to build relationships. They want to partner with farmer representatives. So these are highly likely to be engaged with any new products. So understanding these natures and characteristics of different healthcare providers is very, very important to understand. And that way the model, we need to train and tune the model such a way that the clusters can be accurately segmented, and then the nature of the healthcare provider and behavior of that particular persona, they can be grouped into the same segment so that they can be targeted with the right product. So it's very, very important to understand these characteristics of healthcare provider. In addition to that, there's also like data elements. What data elements are needed for healthcare provider segmentation? So specifically, I'm talking about the use case of customer being healthcare provider, but generically this applies to any customer base for that matter and any industry. It's very, very important to understand the customer for the business and understand what is the needs of that particular group of customers so that we can target them accurately through accurate products. So here, and for the healthcare provider segmentation, all these data elements are very, very important to take into consideration, and the data sets need to be built and ingested from the main resources like Viva and Salesforce. And in addition to that, behavioral data, which is coming from other data sources, and maybe social network data, which is coming from open source APIs like LinkedIn and other social networks. So all those data sets need to be ingested into the system so that we can build the actual features for the model. So here, why is it important to understand the age and gender or location, all these elements for that matter? Because identifying the important data elements leads to accurate targeting. So, for example, the organization type a HCO is working. The HCP who is working in tertiary hospitals and the location is in a region or district or tertiary, it's important to understand which tertiary is the HCP located. In that tertiary, what specialty is the HCP working in? Is it cardio or respiratory or is it gynecology? Based on that location and the specialty and combined with other factors, the right products can be targeted to that particular healthcare provider. In addition to that, we also need to understand the KOL influence. It is how important or how engaging are they to the research activities and scientific research. Are they more open to new innovations, new products, new trials? A HCP who has a high affinity to research, high affinity to scientific research, may be open for new products. So understanding those characteristics is also very, very important. In addition to that, we need to understand that what type of interactions the HCP is having. Is the HCP is trying to attend any seminars or attending congress in next 6 months? Do the HCP have high digital affinity? Are the HCPs highly engaged with digital engagements? Like, are they going and researching different blogs, different sites? Are they trying to actually go through any different pharma blogs, research patents? So those digital leads are very, very important to target the customers. So the every data element which is showcased over here is very important by itself as a feature into the model. So understanding those would actually improve the accuracy of the clustering and would also improve the accuracy of the solution which is built for HCP segmentation. It's also important to understand the psychological personality of the HCP as well. So the HCP, whether they are open for face-to-face meetings, or is the HCP is available only through emails or through calls, what is the digital engagement of the HCP? So that way, the targeting of the HCP can definitely be tailored according to that, and then target the HCP segment directly. So that will, why are we trying to target according to their needs? So that we can get the highest return on investment on the marketing campaigns, and all other marketing activities which we are doing would be successful and profitable. So here, for segmentation, we talked about segmentation and how to target the HCPs, but performing the whole segmentation solution itself needs a strong data platform, a unified data analytic platform. So here there are multiple options for conducting segmentation modeling in the market today. There's like a unified data platform like Databricks. There's AWS, where SageMaker is very powerful in running models. And at the same time, Snowflake is again another powerful data unified platform which can run analytics and AI ML modeling on itself. So there's multiple options, and segmentation and clustering model could be implemented on this platform of choice, any platform of choice based on the client's ecosystem. It is very easily adaptable. The backend framework and the model is easily adaptable for platform of choice, so that we can have the segmentation work on this any platform for that matter. So here in this webinar, we are going to use Databricks to showcase how we can segment the customers. And Databricks as a platform, how it has like advantages on having this whole solution accelerated, implemented end to end, meaning starting from data preparation, from the data preparation to feature engineering, and then AI ML modeling, and from there again integrating the output of the data back to the CRM systems like Viva or Salesforce. So all this end to end, starting from ingestion to feeding the systems, all the activity can be happening in Databricks itself. So, talking about the architecture of segmentation on Databricks. So, here the segmentation on Databricks happens in different layers. First, initially, the sources needs to be understood. So, the data sources, as I talked about, Viva and Salesforce has healthcare provider data. So, they are important data sources which needs to be ingested into the system. In addition to that, that data needs to be combined with other data sets which are available, third party data sets which are available, like any HCP information which is available outside, open source public, to get a NPI identifier, which is a unique identifier for the healthcare provider. In addition to that, any specialty sectors or regions, tertiaries, all those data sets which are available open source, they need to be combined with Viva and Salesforce. In addition to that, any network influencer data, marketing data, behavioral data, or digital engagement data, all these data sets need to be ingested into the data preparation layer of Databricks. So, Databricks itself has a lakehouse which is divided into bronze, silver, and gold layers. It follows a medallion architecture. So, directly the data sources can be easily integrated and ingested into the raw layer or raw zone of Databricks, which is called bronze layer. And from there, the data needs to be aggregated or transformed or feature engineered. And transformed such a way that it can be inputted into the clustering model. So here, once the data sources have been ingested into the data layer in Databricks in Lakehouse, then it's very important to do feature engineering. So, what is feature engineering? Feature engineering is that the transactional data cannot right away be used into the models. So here they need to be features needs to be built. So for example, here HCP engagement index, it is nothing but we are trying to develop a score on how engaging is the HCP. Is the HCP engagement with any products, with any field representatives, with calls, emails, click to open ratio, all other email metrics? Is the engagement high for the HCP? Is the HCP trying to engage with webinars or any follow-up emails? Is the engagement high? Based on the engagement and historical engagements of the HCP, a score would be developed on HCP and then categorized into a score as high, medium, low. So that score will be fed into the clustering model. So having this two-layer model, scoring model, and then feeding that into clustering model would improve the accuracy of clustering to a greater extent, rather than directly feeding in the data by itself into clustering model. The accuracy might hurt if we are directly trying to feed the transactional data, because there's lot of patterns and there's lot of permutation and combination where the clustering model needs to be tuned and fine tuned to a greater extent. Trying to turn the data into aggregations and into scores and make converting them into features actually help with the accuracy of the clustering model. In addition to that, other scores like behavioral score of the HCP, digital engagement score of the HCP, like that, scores can be generated on each and every data points, and from there feeding that into the clustering model. So, what is clustering model? Clustering model is nothing but the whole customer base over here. That customer base is we are trying to process that into k-means clustering model, and then distributing them into segments where the model tries to take in all these features and understand those features and try to cluster the customers into different groups. And after clustering them into different groups, that does not end over there, but we need to profile the segments or develop personas over those segments. So saying that, oh, this group one has middle aged or high aged individuals, and they are very high affinity to digital engagements, and they are open to meetings. So all these are persona one, and persona 2 is, this is the cluster, this is persona 2. persona 3. Like that, we need to profile the segments and assign the segments into different personas or profiles, and from there send that data feed into the systems. So the downstream systems can consume these profiles and personas, and from there they can actually tailor the campaigns or marketing campaigns to that particular personas, so that the budget which is allocated on the campaigns and marketing can have highest ROC and ROI, return on investment, so that the whole activity can be profitable. The segmentation itself helps a lot to gain lot of efficiency and profitability around this area. With that, I would like to pass this on to my colleague Karthik, so that he can demo this whole solution in Databricks and explain how this clustering works.
Thank you, Jyoti. Let me share my screen. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. I wanted to express my gratitude to my mentor Jyoti Kotra for providing a complete end-to-end solution and data ingestion process. Now I will take us into the realm of clustering, segmentation, and profiling. My focus will be on explaining these concepts behind these techniques. So at the their significance in the customer segmentation. Now, and also we'll look into the practical implementation, how we have implemented, and at the end of the session, you will understand the how we have transformed the raw data into an actionable insights and enabling customer engagement and decision making for healthcare professionals. So I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, this is the data set which we have ingested from Viva to Databricks, also cleaned and processed. This data sets contains the HCP profile info and other engagement and behavioral indexes. And then before going to the practical implementation, let us understand what is clustering and profiling. Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning technique that groups similar data points into clusters based on their features. It helps identify patterns in the data, enabling segmentation. In this case, we segment HCP profiles based on their behavioral and engagement scores. By looking into this image, we can easily understand that how this group of people will be clustered based on the similarities in the same way that the cluster will works. Coming to the profiling, profiling involves analyzing the resulting clusters to understand their characteristics and label them meaningfully. For example, one cluster might have high HCP engagements, and while another could be low digital engagement HCPs. Now, let us see how we have implemented this technique practically. So for the very first step, we have imported necessary libraries for machine learning algorithms called scikit-learn, and then we have imported matplotlib for visualization. And then we need to define the features. We need to select the relevant features for clustering. We also need to drop the noisy features which are not good for the clustering. And then we need to scale the data by using min, max, and standard scaler techniques so that all the features will be treated equally. And then we need to reduce the data using principal component analysis for better visualization. Then we need to define the value of k. Here we have defined the value of k is 3, and then applying the k-means algorithm to the entire scaled and normalized data. And then we need to we also need to evaluate the clusterings by implementing this inertia and silhouette scores. And then we will show the visualization based on the scatter plot. Here in this visualization, we can easily understand that clustering k-means algorithm, which have grouped the data points into 3 different clusters. Here is the difference before k-means and after k-means. Before k-means, the data is unstructured, which we are unable to identify the patterns from it. And once the applying of the k-means algorithm to it, then it will automatically cluster the data points based on the similarities it found from the data. Then customer segmentation clusters with different K values. Here are the different clusters based on the different K values. We can also see the variation between different clusters. Defining the value of K is a crucial step in the clustering. Here we are defining the optimal K value using the elbow method, which is good choice for optimal K value. And then we need to scale and standardize the features for better inertia and silhouette scores. If the silhouette scores are greater than 0.5, we can call the cluster as well grouped and well clustered. And if it is less than 0.5, then there is most overlapping. Further refinement, or we need to go for another hierarchical clustering, let's say DB scan, and further standard scalar techniques we need to provide. Then here we got the silhouette scores of 0.5, which is the clusters are well grouped and well clustered. Yeah, here we can see the segments, how they were segmented based on the data points using K-means algorithm. By seeing this visualization scatter plot, we can easily understand that the data is equally balanced on all the clusters. So once the segmentation is done, we need to go for profiling. As we already discussed, profiling is an deeper insights from the clusters data. We describe the clusters and then we analyze the characteristics of each cluster to know on what basis they are segmented and how they are segmented, what feature is mainly influencing the scores. Now, we describe the clusters and then analyze the characteristics of each cluster. And first, to describe the clusters, in this way, we need to describe the clusters. We can see the segments based on the cluster O1 and 2, where we can see the relevance, HCP engagement scores, and other email index scores. Based on this segments data, we can understand that we can analyze that cluster row contains who are middle-aged individuals with moderate engagement scores on all the features like email index score, HCP engagement index, behavioral score, website visits, on all these things. And then coming to the cluster one, other individuals with highest digital engagement metrics like website visits and content downloads. Coming to the cluster two, slightly younger group with balanced engagement but high social media interactions. Once these segments are defined, then we need to visualize the clusters, how they are segmented using PCA for segmentation analysis. Here you can see the three-dimensional visualization of the clustering, where two clusters are somewhat a bit overlapping each other and one is well grouped and structured. So by seeing this data, by seeing this visualization, we need to do further refinement to the clustering algorithm. Count members per cluster. We can also count the profiles that are segmented based on the clusters. Here you can visualize that in cluster 0, we have 310 profiles, HCP profiles, and in cluster 1, we have 350, and in cluster 2, we have up to 320 and 330. Based on this data, we can observe that if one cluster dominates, it may point to an imbalance in the data, or we need to further refinement to the data points, but the data is completely balanced. Profile segment by features. We can also profile the segments by looking at how the different features behave across clusters. For this, we can create a box plot, and in this way we can plot the clusters versus different features for guiding the marketing strategies by revealing feature importance for each segment. For instance, if cluster 2 has high social media interactions, then targeting campaigns this channel may be more effective. In this way, we need to define the marketing strategies based on the clusters and various features. Coming to the mosaic plot, a mosaic plot helps visualize the proportions of different categories within clusters, especially for categorical variables such as gender and specialty. Here we have the mosaic plot for gender versus cluster and specialty versus cluster. In gender versus cluster plot, we can easily understand that cluster 1 is most dominating with the male profiles, and whereas in cluster 2 it is balanced. And in specialty versus cluster, this analysis shows how different professionals or specialists are distributed across the clusters. Additional profile insights. We have also provided heat map of feature correlations. A heat map can show the correlation between features within each cluster, helps focus on key features that define engagement patterns. Based on this correlation heat map, we can easily understand that content downloads and website visits are highly correlating to each other, and which is dominating the entire engagement. Coming to the final conclusions of clustering, segmentation, and profiling, whereas in clustering outcome, the clustering process effectively segments the HCP population into 3 distinct groups based on the behavioral, digital activity, and demographics. Also shows well-separated clusters indicating meaningful segmentation. Segment insights. And whereas in segment insights, in segment 1, who are middle-aged individuals with moderate engagement across all the features like behavioral and engagement scores, whereas in segment 1 and older individuals with highest digital engagement metrics, for example, website visits and content downloads. For cluster 2, slightly younger group with balanced engagement but high social media interactions. Coming to the profiling observations, mosaic plot reveals demographic and professional distributions across clusters. Correlation analysis highlights interdependencies like how digital engagement metrics, for example, website visits and content download storing, strongly influence overall engagements. Overall, based on above profiling, segmentation, and clustering observations, we need to define the marketing strategies so that it will enable the engagement between the healthcare professionals and also the decision making. Here we divided our audience into 3 clusters based on their behavior. Cluster 0 prefers a mix of digital and in-person channels, so targeting hybrid strategies work best for these clusters. And for cluster 1 is all about digital touchpoints like webinar and resources clusters. Cluster 2 loves social media and interactive campaigns. So we focus on engaging them there. In this way, we can define these strategies to the business so that to improve the engagement and also the decision making for healthcare professionals. These tailored strategies maximize our impact on each group. With this, I will hand it over to Jyoti Kotra. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Karthik, for detailed explanation on clustering and segmentation. It is very well defined and you have explained the model in a great detail. So just to summarize the whole topic, having a strong platform and having a high quality data as a foundation, and then combining the healthcare provider data with other third party data sets, all these are very, very important in nature to have the effective clustering and segmentation done. So, and yeah, on top of all of this, having a high quality data platform or database is also very, very important. So it is a multifaceted approach which needs to be taken to understand this healthcare providers customer base and potential. So based on that, the effective targeting and accurate campaigning can be done. So considering the specific type of healthcare provider clients, what we want to target, is it based on their specialization, or is it based on the scientific research, or is it based on the digital affinity, or whether they want to have interactions face to face. All these features needs to be crawling through and then trying to have correlations like has how Karthik showed. These are very, very important to have effective clusters and profiles built so that we can tailor the marketing campaigns to that particular segments effectively. So all this leads into efficiencies and productivity in marketing strategies. With that, we would like to end this demo and open the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Jyoti and Karthik. That was very insightful. We really appreciate you taking the time to share your depth knowledge in this area with us. We are going to open the floor for a few questions. I've gotten a couple. I don't know if anybody has any, but I'm going to read them out loud, Jyoti, and hopefully you'll be able to help us out. The first one that I have is, can you share best practices for integrating diverse data sets? And an example would be transactional, behavioral, or demographic data into unified segmentation framework on Databricks.
Yes, Maria, sure. As it is very, very important, first step to taken place is the clear data architecture. So because there's like wide variety of data sets, and it is not end of only those data sets. Maybe the data is going to be growing day by day in today's data driven world. So the data architecture should be scalable and adaptable, and it needs to be accepting any new data sources integration. So that's where like Databricks or Snowflake or strong unified data platforms are key over here, because the scalability and processing power is very, very important. So, and in addition to that, Delta Lakehouse, it handles the incremental data. It can handle the scalability and processing computing power. All that is very high because the whole Databricks is built on top of Spark distributed processing systems. And in addition to that, the data needs to be structured because for the model to be effective, for clustering to be effective, having this whole data ingestion and processing and layers of the data, it needs to be strong. That is a strong foundation which needs to be established. So prepping the data and making features for that data is very, very important so that the model performs better. Um, After setting up the data layers and after setting up the ingestion and transformation process for the model to happen and model is implemented, another important thing which needs to be best practices which needs to be kept in mind is continuous monitoring and iteration. Model once deployed, it just needs to have continuous monitoring established. Observability is key over here. We need to monitor the data drift. Any logic needs to be refined, or is it working well all the time? Do we need to automate any pieces? Is the performance good? So all these factors needs to be put in place. In addition to that, like we need to have good governance and security in on the solution established so that the whole solution can work better for any customers.
Makes sense. Okay. Second question. How can Databricks help streamline data cleansing and preparation for effective customer segmentation and profiling?
Yes, sure, Maria. This is a very good question. So mainly the Databricks, first of all, the main advantage of Databricks is the whole engineering, analytics, and AI ML models. Everything happens in a single unified platform. So there's no need to have different platforms to be used in conjunction to build a solution. So all the solution can build within Databricks, and in addition to that, like the data preparation, right? Like when it is trying to connect to different data sources like Viva or Salesforce, the pre-established connectors make it very easy for Databricks to directly connect with Viva or directly connect with Salesforce with the pre-built connectors. So that way, the data can be streamed real time, or the data can be streamed batch process, and then also because streaming is very powerful on Databricks, we can keep in real time cleansing, real time data preparation in process. So that way, like we can get all the customer data real time from Viva, Salesforce, other CRM systems, and other third party data sources. And that way, like we can have a strong foundation on the data layer, and from there, that data would feed into the model so that the model ultimately performs very well. So this strong scalability and performance within the data lakehouse is very, very important for this model to be successful.
Okay. And the last one that I have so far is, what tools and frameworks within Databricks are most effective for visualizing and interpreting customer segmentation results?
Yes. So some of the visualization definitely Karthik has shown within the notebook itself. So that is one of the capability which has been demoed today, where IPy notebooks within Databricks actually can take any matplotlib or any code components like Seaborn and directly visualize the clusters, because the clustering model is very, very important to visualize how the clusters are working. Otherwise, how Karthik has emphasized that defining the K is most important on the clustering model. If the K is defined wrong, then the whole model accuracy, precision, recall, everything will be affected. So to define accurately the K folds, and also to get the model to work accurately, profile the segments for all this high quality visual integration of the platform is very, very important. So within the tool itself, Databricks tool itself, the notebooks support any kind of R, Python, advanced visualizations. In addition to that, Databricks as a tool itself can integrate with other visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau or QuickSight, any visualization tools for that matter. So the whole selection of the platform of choice is mainly for easy integration for any upstream systems and downstream systems. So that way, like the flow of the data from upstream system to downstream system is seamless, and no challenges for integrations itself. So definitely the visualization is key for customer segmentation, and Databricks and other tools combined with Databricks definitely help in having this visual interpretation and showcase how the behavioral segmentation is working, and so that we can send the effective data back to feed back to the CRM systems like Viva, Salesforce, and any other marketing tools, so that way they can use this data set directly into their marketing campaigns.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering these questions. Thanks everyone for attending and coming into this webinar. If anybody needs to revise it or wants to route it or wants to have other colleagues also, look at this recording, you can find it at www.focalcxm.com. Thanks again for everybody attendance, and Jyoti and Karthik, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye now.